And good morning, and welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known. I am your host, Stacy Brown.
Peace, love, and I can officially say, Stacy, happy holidays, everybody.
Oh,
I'm your co-host, Niele. We have a lot of headlines to get through, and some very important conversations, and we definitely want the chat to get involved.
you said peace, love. I thought she was going to say I can finally say happiness, and I was going to say, where'd you find it?
I found it in the holiday season. It
Oh,
makes
okay. Because
everybody a little lighter, a little more friendlier and kinder.
because we do have a sort of a happiness story or an unhappiness story a little bit later, but we can jump into it. Niele, she is and has always been affectionately known as Mother Viola Fletcher. She carried the
Mhm.
memory of Tulsa's shame and the nation's unfinished business longer than any other living soul. Well, she died yesterday at the tender age of 111. She stood as the oldest known survivor of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, the burning of Greenwood, and the attempted erasure of Black prosperity that white mobs tried to silence forever. Mother Fletcher has passed away at the age of 111. Green and I actually got to meet her just a few years ago when
Mhm.
she got her Ghanaian, if I'm going to say it right, her citizenship to Ghana and a ceremony
Mhm.
in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, she was also at the Congressional Black Caucus dinner, not this year, but last year, I believe it was, or year before last. And I actually saw her attorney pushing her in a wheelchair. And now I regret, going up, but I just remember seeing her from afar and just that whole fight that
Mhm.
she was able to see. And she was able to see some forms of acknowledgement. I don't know if she would call it justice, but the
Right.
acknowledgement of what happened to her and the fact that people wanted to pursue justice for Greenwood. She was able to see that. And I think that is a blessing to know that she wasn't forgotten about.
Yeah, her and her brother, and there's another survivor. Her
Yeah,
brother
her
died
name
a
is
couple of
Leslie. Name is Leslie Benningfield Rando. And she's the last known survivor. She's 110 years old right now.
yeah, I think her brother was 108, if I'm not mistaken, when he passed away just a year or so ago. Um,
Hmm. Wait a
but
minute.
you talk about longevity.
No,
My
her
goodness,
brother, her brother, Huge Van Ellis, died in October of 2023 at the age of 102.
102. Okay,
Hmm.
got it. But
Hmm.
that's my gosh, that's longevity. That the family had some strong genes, strong will to live, but in a strong fight, as you mentioned. Yeah, the Justice for Greenwood, there still is a Justice for Greenwood campaign going on. They are still fighting for proper reparations, if you will,
Hmm.
there. And one of the things that she was most happy about was, as I mentioned, when she got her citizenship to Ghana. And that was a big deal. Everyone around her talked about how big of a deal that was for her and her brother at the time. So that was pretty big, Aniel.
Yeah, her attorney, Demario Solomon Simmons, texted me yesterday when she passed, and he sent a note saying keep the family in their prayers. And then he sent, today I am thankful for her life. I am humbled by the trust she placed in me and our team, and I am committed more than ever to making sure that the work she started does not end with her passing. And so I think that the fight will continue for the ancestors
Mhm.
and to what happened to them in Greenwood.
Yeah, Orange G says he saw her and the remaining survivors of the Tulsa Massacre at the 100-year anniversary of the Tulsa Massacre. He
Mm,
says, "What a blessing for him and his family to see."
yeah, yeah.
It's similar to what you
Um,
were saying about going up to her at that.
yeah, yeah. It's just it's like a Miss Opal from Juneteenth. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have these individuals. I mean, it's slightly different because Mother Fletcher, Mother Leslie, and Brother Randall, they experienced that
Hmm.
happening to them. And so I think it cuts a little deeper because they still have those memories. And think about this, they went through most of their lives
Yeah.
with not even being acknowledged for that. It wasn't until their twilight years that they began to see, the pursuit of justice for them.
Yeah, isn't that something? And I feel like with she and the other her brother and the other survivors, this that scene right there, I feel like in their case, as you said, they waited to the twilight years, but still they remained, very important figures. They were looked after, if you will. They seemed to be well looked after by
Hmm.
the community, if nobody else. And I feel like they were put in their proper, they were held in the proper esteem.
Hmm.
Folks respected them. When you saw them, you saw many more people wanting to join their fight. Um, they carried that for all these years. Just imagine the civil rights movement. I'm thinking Dr. King unfortunately cut down so early in his life. Just imagine someone like him still being here today. Well, he would be what, 90 years old. So just imagine somebody like that carrying that. They carried 100+ years of wrong that
Right,
they,
but
that.
yeah, but with
Go ahead.
Dr. King, we knew his works. We
Hmm.
didn't know about them. They walked through most of their lives with not even being acknowledged by the city, the state that they live in, the
Hmm.
tragedy that happened with them. And to the point that you were saying, they were living American history. Now, all of us can't say we are a part of America. We're a part of American history, but like significant key moments, they were a part of
Hmm.
that. And I remember her being able to testify at a congressional hearing
Yes.
to talk about what happened to her and to hear her memories. Like, that's not just Black history, that is American history.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes back to this conversation of erasure. How
Yeah.
can you?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
dare
You
you?
can't, right? How dare you? Right. Right. Exactly. And it also, for another thought, Neil, is while we have them, while you have them in your family and in your neighborhood, you have to sit down with the elders. You have to talk to them. You have to hear from their experiences. You have to pick their brains, even though in some cases you may find that they have diminished in some capacity. Still, it's well worth sitting down and picking their brains and finding out some things that you may not have known.
Yeah, I've done that with my grandmother. She's actually from Spencer, Oklahoma. But she talks about how they would walk to town. And they had, it wasn't Greenwood, but it was the town, maybe a few towns over. But they specifically dealt with their own Black doctors, their Black lawyers. And so for her to tell those stories and then to hear about her upbringing, and just like one of my great great grandfather was one of the founding members of a CME church. He built it.
Mm.
And so just to know your legacy, it is truly important. But my grandmother, she has her oldest sister right now turns 100 next year. And then she has another sister that's alive that's 96.
Wow,
My
nice.
grandmother is 94. She has a brother that just turned 90. She has another sister, I forgot my Aunt Maxine. She's like 92, and their youngest baby sister is 89, and they're still all alive.
Oh, that is fantastic. And just to imagine the wealth of knowledge and information you can pull from that.
But the
Neil, you should be a
funny,
lot smarter than what you are.
but the funny thing is, it depends on which one you ask. The story is different. She ain't
Right.
comb my hair. She ain't do all that. She ain't churn that much butter. And it's just so funny because, the recollection sometimes is different.
She didn't eat all those chitlins.
Right. I made them first, but no, our history is so important. And that is, like one of our passions, to fight for, because it's not just Black history. We are American history.
Yeah, look at those
There's no White
videos and
House.
pictures.
There's no White House. There's
Mm-mm.
no Capitol. There's no, Make America Great was Greenwood.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's
Exactly.
that's what Make America Great is.
There you go. Make America Greenwood again.
We keep talking about that separate but equal. When you see stuff like this, it makes you think.
Look, them
We
brothers are
could have been,
ready.
we might have been able to control this nation if we would have stayed separate but equal and came equal when we decided to.
Stay the
Imagine
course.
that.
Stay the
Imagine
course.
that.
Oh gosh. Nancy Wall says what they went through and all they lost, their faith was strong to live so long. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, some people just have decided, I mean, they've taken care of themselves, obviously, but they've decided that they ain't going nowhere until certain things take place.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
that is that.
Right. And
Um,
last thing, Mother Fletcher was the outspoken one. But now, hopefully we'll learn more about now Mother Leslie, because she was the quiet one. You know what I mean? She just I went through it, but Mother Fletcher was the one that was doing all the talking. So now we learn more about her and more about our American history.
yeah. And today's America, folks,
Uh-oh.
hey,
I
uh-oh.
want to say one other thing real quick. I just want to make a point real quick. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That video you just saw, one of the things that used to drive me, well, still drives me crazy, is that it's the narrative is constantly being told that we didn't fight back. Those brothers was getting ready.
Yeah, he said he was strapped.
They
Right.
was strapped. And whenever America tells our story, we're never ready. You know what I mean? We never fought back. And, while they didn't win that battle, those brothers did not let nobody just run up on them and, they didn't try to fight. And so I
Yeah.
just, that's really like an important part. That's one of the things that I loved about the show, The Underground, because they weren't showing Black people just,
Lay
they
back.
were
Right.
the rabbit in this
Right.
thing. I mean, they were the tortoise and the rabbit, I guess. But I just don't like the story constantly being told that our people never fought back. That we were
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's how the whole concept too of, like, when we talk about separate but equal, when we were separate, we fought back. We
Right.
understood
Right.
that the Second Amendment right was for us as well. And when we became equal, somehow the Second Amendment right is only for white folks. And then we all said, no, 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 we need gun reform 100%. We need immigration reform. But the Second Amendment right is for us as well. Don't let
Yeah.
them have the guns. To Greer's point, we fought back, but somehow they want to erase that because they want us to be what Langston Hughes said not to be: docile Negroes, meek and mild. God forbid the day they change their mind. He was talking about us New Age Negroes.
Mm. Power 96, RNG says they fought back, and a lot of those men were World War One veterans. Yeah, they, like Greer pointed out, and I was noticing that in those videos. These men, they were prepared, and
Mm-hmm.
you could tell. So one of the things I loved about, when I think about like my grandfather and his generation, is that they did not hesitate to rate you. You come for one of theirs,
Mm-hmm.
they were raising up quickly. They
And they
and was
had
asked
guns.
questions later.
And they had guns.
Yeah,
My grandfather
yeah,
had guns, not
oh
a
yeah.
gun, but guns.
And it was always we'll sort this out later, but right now, you come for one of us. I don't care what they may have done.
Hmm.
It was like it was on. It was
That's
on.
interesting that you said that, because it's like when my grandfather passed, one of her first tasks was to get rid of all of his guns.
Mm,
And
wow.
it's like not thinking like, well, let me give this to my granddaughter because she's single and she might need protection. You know what I'm saying? Like that we
Yeah,
didn't have, like, I don't know where our mind changed.
yeah,
To
yeah.
like why we thought, well, all of a sudden, like now I know black men, a few years ago, interestingly enough, black men have guns, okay, and
Mhm.
they're registered.
Black women
They
too.
just don't promote it. Women do too, but I just found like, but a lot of women that I know, they don't,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
therefore they're on this,
It's interesting you say,
get rid of guns,
yeah,
no
it's interesting you
guns.
say you don't know where the mindset changed. It did change at some point. And it seemed like it must, if I want to put a time period on it, it seems like it may have been the 80s. Because the
Mm-hmm.
70s, 60s, they fought 60s and before they had to continue to fight for and stand up. Otherwise, you dead.
Mm-hmm.
70s, you had the rise of the Black Panthers, and you had other so much Black power. I remember from the 70s, there was so much Black power stuff going on, so much you couldn't avoid it. It was in the neighborhoods, it was nationally, it was everywhere. And
Mm-hmm.
then the 80s came along, and it seems like think that's when, from my recollection, it seems like that's where we started that. Okay, no more on the block stuff, no more hanging out,
Mm.
no more the park jams. They're starting to lessen, and the block parties are starting to lessen, and the hanging out on the steps at late at night was starting to go away. And then I didn't
Oh.
see much of that at all in the 90s, and forget about it. About the 2000s, it was gone.
Right, right. I agree with you, Stacy, when you think about it. And it's like all of like, so lately in my timeline, I'm getting these nostalgia videos from the 80s, from the 70s, and I'm loving it. The
Mhm.
commercials, just, yesterday, one popped in about the Walkman. The Walkman came out in 1990. I mean 1980, in
80,
1980. And it was this whole television segment about these little portable gadgets that people are
yeah.
putting around their ears. And now I'm thinking about this right here. And
Yeah.
then on the flip side, there was this other guy from Houston that was asking all of these young kids, and he put a tape recorder in front of them. They
Mm.
didn't know what it was. They didn't know what a tape recorder
Wow.
was. It was
See,
like,
it
I
go
have no idea.
no idea. Unbelievable. But it goes back, and again, I think the 80s, and I also say the 80s too, because then you had your modern day Trump in at the time you had your Trump, who was Ronald Reagan, who, as it
Mm.
turns out, wasn't he? Trump has far trumped Reagan in white supremacy, etc. But you had these Rockefeller laws come into play.
Mhm.
You had the war on drugs. Really, I mean, it started in the 70s, but it really intensified with Reagan and Nancy in the 80s. And
What was her
there's
dare? What she have dare? Was it
yeah,
dare?
yeah, it was about dare to stay off drugs. Some of that that notion. And then of course you had the crack epidemic that really took hold in the
Which they
80s,
brought into this,
which they
which
brought
they
into the
brought here.
communities. Right,
Okay, watch
exactly.
Snowfall. Did you watch Snowfall?
I did not.
It was loosely based on Freeway Rick.
Okay.
And so it was really good because it showed just how much the DEA was the one that was transporting the drugs into
Yep.
LA. And
Mhm.
and I also want to go back real quick. The Deacons of Self Defense, Orange G is talking about them. There's a movie on Tubi starring Forrest Whitaker. They did the story of the Deacons of Self Defense, and it was really good. And
Wow.
they didn't play, okay?
Okay. Yeah, because that's what
Really
we was
good.
taught, and that's what I'm saying. It's like that seemed to all go away with this war on drugs, war, and not that everybody was into drugs. Like you said, they were the ones who flooded our neighborhoods with the drugs. They
Right.
were the ones who was precipitating all of these transactions that got people so hooked and dying and killing each other. They were the ones who did that. Let's not make no mistake about that.
Yeah, they flooded
um,
our
they
communities with that.
saw, in my view, saw the strength and the power continuing to grow. Black power, they saw that, and they
Hmm.
found a way to infiltrate and exploit our communities. We were fine being poor, right? So they
Yeah.
came in. When I say we were fine being poor, what I'm saying is that we wasn't trying to kill each other to get rich, right?
Right. And yeah,
They presented
we was
that.
yeah, we was in our most natural, purest community state. We were in a state where we were
Exactly.
producing families.
That's
Um and
it.
and
Hardworking
right,
fathers,
working
mothers taking
fathers.
care, right,
And
exactly.
some and let's just talk about the hustlers. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have been doing that, but some of the most brilliant minds in this nation are locked up in prison. Let me just tell you. You know what I'm
And
saying? Because they
DL,
was running enterprises, okay?
and
Street enterprises.
those hustlers that you talk about, they looked out for us too. They
Right,
wasn't letting the kids get involved in none of that. They looked out for you. They told you if something was to go down, yeah, go in the house. They
right,
didn't have to be related to you. They go in the house,
right. And
right?
okay, Dr. Marilyn, yes. And the backdrop of all of it was Soul Train on a Saturday morning.
There you go.
That was the
Against the
backdrop
walls,
of
right too.
all
They
of it
needed it.
on a Saturday morning.
There you go. There you go. Don Cornelius. And again, what was that? Afro. So power to the people.
And
You know,
even his intent on behind the scenes to make Black people seen and give us our own American bandstand. You
how
know what I'm
about that?
saying?
It was
You know,
exactly.
he,
We didn't
so it
have
was
to
on
watch Dick
all
Clark.
fronts.
Right. Exactly. There you go. And so that's what, y'all heard my theory. So you heard
Yes.
what I
So
had to say.
no, I mean, when and all of this conversation is sparked by the beloved ancestor now, Mother Fletcher, because we're talking about our lineage, and when we just think about what has happened to us, the trauma
Mhm.
that Donald Trump and his people still inflict the terror that was her given to her as a child. What they have done to us this year, it's not as bad, but it's the same spirit. Just like we are honoring our spirits, that same spirit of they trashy ass white people is what's being inflicted on us now.
She didn't say Crocker.
I did. But don't get me started on the
From
peck.
Greenwood to Peckerwood.
Don't get me started because it's all relative. It's all relative. It is. And it's generational, you know? It's
Oh gosh.
generational.
Uh, I'm trying to light a fuse now. I'm just losing my mind here. We done told maybe you ought to calm down on certain things, and here I am trying to push her to go over the top.
No, but it's getting there. It's getting there because when you think about it in hindsight, when you think about, with what we're talking about and just how we're like, embracing and reflecting, they're doing the same thing, but on the evil and devil side.
Evil and devil, boy, oh boy. Exactly. Oh gosh, a federal judge, folks. I'm gonna switch gears real quick. Has dismissed the criminal cases against James Comey and, of course, New York Attorney General Letitia James, concluding that the prosecutor who brought the charges at Trump's urging was illegally appointed by the Justice Department. Of course, they were. Uh,
Mhm.
get away with, it's stop it. Just stop.
Yeah.
Just, oh
Trump
man,
was quiet yesterday. I don't.
he was.
He was
May-
quiet yesterday. He was molded, as we would
Maybe,
say.
molded. Maybe they gave him his medication finally. Maybe he took it.
No, he was quiet yesterday. Get out of here with that. Okay. Goodbye. The best we saw trending Melania getting the Christmas tree, and I loved how they pinned that private conversation that was leaked. with her waving with the Christmas tree. Oh my gosh, they can't get a break. Good for them.
Oh man, but check this out. So here's the thing too, that we talk about the history and stuff. Two Texas men, they're brothers too,
Mm,
white supremacists, if you will. They have been indicted in what federal prosecutors describe as a plan. Check this plan, Nia. When you hate so much, you have to understand how nonsensical everything will be. They had planned to storm into Ganave Island. This is Haiti.
mm-hmm,
This is the island of, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 800,000 people. And this is two men.
mm-hmm.
They wanted to murder every male on this island. They want to enslave the women and children. This guy, Gavin Weisenberg, he's 21, and Tanner Thomas,
Oh yeah.
20. They conspire with others to take military control of the island, according to the indictment. I mean, what makes these two trailer
Crackers.
crash? There you go. What makes you think you can do this? Go into an island of, like I said, I think it's 800,000 people is what I read, and kill all the black men there. First of all, let me tell you something. And I hopefully this doesn't come off as being a little racist, but Haitian men, you don't want to be messing with Haitian men, especially when it comes to their women and their children.
Okay, I'm telling you.
And these two bums, trash.
You know who
Want
they
to
look
take
like? You know what they look like? They look like ice. They look like
they're nice. Yeah, they just don't have the mask on in these pictures, right? Neil, what makes them think white privilege is what
and
Michelle Young
who
said.
knows? Who knows if this is not a test by
Right.
the secret dark society? That I mean, I don't know. They look like people that are trying to oppress us now. So I don't know what this is. I don't know if that's a test. I don't know what. I don't know what to think. It's a
What
lot.
they read, what were they reading some white supremacist book about slavery and thought, why not? The caucasity of it all is what Mike V says. I mean, somebody help me with this. How in the world do these two, who probably one on one can't beat Hervé Villachez, 4 foot tall
And
Hervé, who's dead.
they don't even look 30.
I know they're not. There's 21 and one is 21 and the other is 20. Gavin Weisenberg and Tanner Thomas. It's just the thing that
Yeah.
Donald Trump has done, and the Heritage Foundation and Stephen Miller and Russell Vault has done so much damage, making these people think that black folks are just going to roll over. It's incredible. The thing I can see, if they'd have charged them, if their plot was to go into, Mobile, Alabama, and say we're gonna try something like, they go into a whole country, just the two of them.
Well, you see what we're doing to Venezuela. I mean, I mean, they're on par for course with the Trump admin. They from Texas. They think that they could just go anywhere and just take over and
Oh my
invade. And they probably
gosh,
thinking that the alt-right boys, once they get over there and see some of it, they'll be on the next trip out there too.
these guys would not. This is about killing the men. They would not have made it through the first guy over
But you
here.
know what I would like to see on a serious note with this investigation is to trace who their ties are with.
Right,
I would
right.
like to see, what they're watching on social media. I would like to know if they've been attending any type of meetings with any type of organizations. I want to know what their profile is.
Yeah,
That's what I need the FBI, somebody in there to do.
Cash Patel can't see straight. Come on.
Because no matter if they wanted to erase it, just last year, the number one threat to the American people are white men. Okay, white terrorist men, and they're from Texas, and they fit that profile that the FBI said who we should be aware and be watching out for.
Oh man, Niele, your guest is here.
Well, it's not my guest, it's our
Our
guest.
guest. I just wanted you to just bring him in because
Yeah.
this is just it's
Yeah,
upsetting right now.
but on the flip side, the other side of America, we're trying to preserve democracy. We're trying to help our fellow brothers and sisters, as we have people don't have benefits. People don't,
Now,
worry
Orangey,
about
he
their.
just took me out.
What did he say?
Cash's eyes are cocked like a pistol.
Oh. And so while we're trying to figure out how to survive, Black people are holding the front line for America. Let's not play about that. So we have our contributor, producer, culture creator, content creator, Michael Payton is back to talk about his latest episode of Vision for Change. Welcome back to the show, Michael.
Homelessness is the guy that's sleeping on your couch. He's homeless. Homelessness.
All right, we're gonna get to that clip. Let's get to that clip in a minute.
Sleeping on your couch that's trying to.
Okay, we'll get to the clip in a minute.
Welcome back to
the show. Welcome back to the show, Michael. I want you to set up the clip that we're about to see. Tell us, you got to set it up. Good morning.
Well, good morning, Niele and Stacy. It's always good to be back with y'all. And I'm hearing everything y'all saying. I'm feeling riled up. I was a little sleepy this morning. Now I'm like I'm ready for a revolution. I'm ready for a fight. Like, what's up? Like,
power.
Part of the revolution is the work that we do at Black Press, and the work that you're doing to tell Black stories and to amplify the hope of this nation. And so, tell us about your next episode and what we're about to watch.
Yeah, so Vision for Change is all about having conversations, hard conversations with everyday folks in our community and beyond. And one of the hardest things, we're about to all sit down with our families, most of us, and enjoy the holidays. And I think it's important for us to be mindful of the fact there's a lot of us out there who don't have a place to go to. I won't necessarily have an automatic hot meal ready for them, right? And so what I did this week is talk to Joseph Bradford III, who is the founder of Bear Truth, which is a organization that's focused on supporting families and homeless folks right here in LA. So he is doing some tremendous work with actually getting people housed and building housing units and housing folks and giving them skills to get them back acclimated to life. So in this clip you're about to watch, you're gonna hear him talk about how folks are just like you and me. Like they're not homeless people are not folks that we should just overlook and forget about. That we all there before the grace of God go I, right? So
well, let's take a look at it. Take a look at it.
Homelessness is the guy that's sleeping on your couch. He's homeless. Homelessness is not just the people out on the street. Homelessness is people sleeping on your couch that's trying to make it, that's trying to be that actor, that's trying to be this painter or musician or dancer or whatever else. That's homelessness too. Okay? And we need to support everybody.
Okay, that was quick and to the point. Okay.
Yeah. Get you into it. No, when we have a whole hour long conversation, and I'm telling you, like, this brother's really doing some tremendous things in the community, and it's super exciting to talk to him.
Yeah. So, and Michael, we know you're talking about homelessness. We know that one part of the problem, at least, is mental illness. Do you tackle that in this show as well?
Yeah. So Joseph talks about the fact that yes, there is a lot of folks who suffer from mental illness that are on the streets. There's also a lot of folks that are coming from, which something I didn't really think about as much, but the foster youth. How many folks are kind of in and out of that system and kind of just end up on their own because they don't have family to go to. They don't have parents or any guardians to kind of turn to. So they end up, when they get 18, they just get turned loose on the streets. He also talks about how veterans are a big part of this population, right? And how drug use, mental health. I mean, there's so many things, and just like you heard in that clip, it's also folks who are artists. I know a lot of us out here in LA can relate to that. Couch surfing, and I know for myself, I know one, and a lot. I talk about this in the show. A lot of people don't even know this, that I experienced housing uncertainty, just be plain and simple. I was homeless for like a good year, couch surfing from family member to family member, and even that he broke down. Like that can be considered, homelessness as much as we don't like to think of it like that. But so it's really just kind of bringing us all into the conversation and realizing again that there before the grace of God, we all can be. We're all just one missed paycheck or one bad thing away from being under the 10. If we're not careful. So let's be a little more graceful and support these folks that really need to be seen.
Wow. So how can we watch it? Tell us where we can watch it, when we can watch it.
You can watch it right now. It's on YouTube, as you just seen. That clip you just saw. It's on my YouTube. It should be available on the BlackPressUSA YouTube soon today. So it's going to be amazing. Again, I just think it's important that we keep in mind that this show, we're all about talking to people who are leaders in community as well as policy and everyday folks, right? And charity starts at home. Before you can have a real robust policy conversation, you got to have a conversation with folks about, you got to see these folks, before we can go there and try to make policies or all these things, how we solve the homeless problem. Well, we got to first see these folks. And hopefully this episode sheds some light on that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And everybody can check out Vision for Change featuring Joseph Bradford III on a conversation about the homelessness or unhoused crisis in the United States, hosted by Michael J. Payton. Thanks for joining us today, Michael.
Appreciate you, Michael.
Thank you so much. Y'all take care.
Wow, man, that's quite the topic right there too. Glad to see that somebody like Michael is really going in on that.
Yeah. And, especially during this time when we are able to embrace, some of us are able to embrace our families, have a home cooked meal, and be surrounded by our loved ones. It reminds us not to forget about the least of these, or as Marvin Gaye would say, the have-nots.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. You had a couple more stories you want to run through?
Yeah, folks, soaring electricity prices are triggering a wave of power shutoffs nationwide, leaving more Americans in the dark as unpaid bills pile up. And although there is no national national count, I should say, of electricity shutoffs, data from select utilities in 11 states show that disconnections have risen in at least 8 of them since last year, according to figures that were compiled by the National Energy Assistance Directors Association. Some areas like New York, the surge has been dramatic, with residential shutoffs in August up 5-fold from a year ago. And in Pennsylvania, where power shutoffs have risen 21% this year, with more than 270,000 households losing electricity. It's hard times. This administration has, Niele, caused so much hardship, and now it is causing people to be at home without any electricity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people with a high electricity bill and get behind sometime. Okay, I'm one of them. Okay, because the trash bill. So on my electricity bill, on my DWP bill, I pay trash, I pay electricity, and I pay water. I mean, and all of it has doubled, right?
Yeah.
A bill that used to be under $300 to $400 can now be $900. Although it's an every other month bill cycle, it's just ridiculous the way that they are gouging us. And it would really hurt you is part of the problem is when COVID happened, bills got behind. So they never really caught up.
They never
and so it just continues to rack up within your cycle. And I mean, that's what's happening.
Yeah, I know. In Washington, D.C., earlier this summer, they sent out, they reported, Pepco reported notices to over 100,000 residents who were at risk of having their power shut off, the electricity shut off. That is just incredible.
Well, look, thank God our DWP doesn't hold true to their shut off notice.
Oh, God. Oh, okay, I got you.
Shallow child. But no, it's ridiculous.
You got to put something on it.
You do. You do. It's all you gotta do. That's what I'm saying. As long as you put something on it, you're good. Just
But
don't.
not
If you don't do
Niele,
nothing, then it's the problem. But even if it's $50, put something on it.
but not everybody can put something on it nowadays, man. They've decimated folks. That's the problem. And then folks,
It's
folks
insane.
going, it's hard. Mike V says that rising high energy prices is the main reason why Black folks should be in support of renewable energy like community solar grids in our neighborhood. And Nancy Wall says First Energy in Ohio has to pay people back for what they stole from the customers. And they just announced a major increase in electricity and water sewage. Patricia Jackson says where she lives. So, man, it's nationwide, and this is
It's bad.
relentless.
It's really bad, and it's and they keep rising the price, like they keep moving the bar.
Yeah,
So
they
just
added
when
all
you're
these
able to,
fees.
right, and it just as soon as you're able to handle it, they move the bar. They keep
Yeah,
moving the goalpost.
yeah. Delmarva is who we use, and there have been times this year where the fees are more than the bill, literally more than the bill itself.
Yeah,
That's crazy. So
yeah.
before you turn on one light switch or plug up one whatever, your bill is already a couple $100. It's unreal. And that lends to the next item, that Americans' happiness ranking fell to a record low in Gallup's World Happiness Report this year. While there's no single reason behind the decline, money plays an important role, according to the folks who are taking the survey. They say fewer than half of Americans said that they were financially secure. And the indications show that it's not just a lack of money that's stripping away happiness. In an exclusive poll conducted by YouGov for MarketWatch in October, only about half of respondents said that the way that they use and manage their money made them happy. So it's a lot going on, and it's not just money. Money does play a role. Money is the key to end all your woes, your ups, your downs, your highs, your lows. That's what Run DMC said.
Well, all right then, Stacy. But yeah, money does predict your mood. When your money's up, you feel good. When it's down, it's like, okay, as long as you have food in your pocket and as long as you got that money to put on towards your light bill, you're good. But the minute you don't,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
mood changes. You start, doing this. What we gonna
You
do?
start.
What we gonna do? What we gonna
Lord, what you gonna do, Lord?
do? So,
RG says you better start using candles, to which Mike V says, well, don't let the candle get too close to your mattress or your money might light up. Because RG keeps his money under the mattress.
oh, that's right. Well, I'm glad everybody know everybody in the chat. Okay, I love it. And but speaking of happiness, this is a form of happiness too. Talking with the chat, I think we all look forward to this because this is what you call community. This is online community. Hey,
When they
community.
fighting, because there was a nice fight going on last week. Man, that was a really good one. A brawl for it all. Of course, RG was not going to lose that one.
Oh, are we talking about our expat?
Yeah, yeah. Was it expat? It was
Or,
whoever it was.
Orangey done ran expat away, and I was really digging his contribution to or her contribution to the
OG said, "Hey,
conversation.
you come for him. You better bring a
Well,
whole
expat will be
army."
listening, and expat, you are welcome here. Okay, just to get some tough skin.
Oh
So
gosh.
we all catch it. But in more headlines, the Emmett Till Interpretive Center has brought the barn. And this is the barn, unfortunately, where 14-year-old Emmett
Mhm.
Till was tortured and killed in 1955. Now, the purchase of the barn helped secure one of the most significant sites in American civil rights history. And so it ensures that there won't be any destruction, as many of our historical locations tied to anti-Black violence has been attacked. So I think, important to know as well is that the gift was made possible from the Rhimes Foundation, which was founded by producer extraordinaire Shonda Rhimes, the center said. And so she helped them acquire this property for preservation and for whatever they're going to do from a historical context.
So, I'm gonna be very ignorant about this, so you gotta educate me. Why keep this? Why keep this site?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I can't, it didn't, they want to preserve it for historical context. So maybe they'll turn it into a museum.
Hmm.
And maybe it's more of like a lest we forget.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm listen. Like I said, I'm very not. I want to be educated on it because I just me if that was like, and we all feel a sort of kinship to Emmett Till, but we're not. But if that was my relative, I don't know that want that thing to even exist. I'm like Barrington, let's burn that thing down. Just and burn down those who had any affiliation with it too.
But I
I just
think
be
there's a,
scorched
I
earth.
think that, but there's also a significance to barns because it just wasn't this barn. That is like a place where I think Klansmen rallied, and they
Hmm.
did horrible things to Black people because in the movie The Deacons of Self Defense that stars Forrest Whitaker, it starts with him and his dad hunting, and then they hear something and there's a barn over there, and then you see the Klansmen leave, and then
Okay.
he goes inside the barn and he tells his son, a young Forrest Whitaker, stay outside, but he comes inside and there's a man hanging. So I think there is some type of historical context that they want to, just so they don't forget, because that's
Yeah.
exactly what the Trump administration is trying to do, is erase what they did to us.
Yeah, see, Patricia Jackson says, "Why do we preserve trauma? I understand the history, but sometimes it keeps us in pain." Just like when I see all of the in the South, they still have like slave quarters and stuff. It just
Mhm.
really, it seems it. I don't know. I guess I'm in the minority. It just bothers me. It's like burn that sucker down.
But if they burn it down, then how will we know?
I get I like yeah, I mean look, like I
How
said,
will we
that
know?
I'm just conflicted on it, and I'm not saying that that approach is wrong, because obviously there are people smarter than me who believe that they should preserve them. So um yes. I don't get it. But I get the explanation though. So
So yeah, I mean, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, because the donation was like 1.4 million.
mhm.
And so it'll be interesting to see what they do with the funding, how they preserve it. And it still doesn't stop, white folks from in the middle of the night going down to burn it. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Unless
right.
they have 24-hour guard service,
Even
so.
then.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
It's true.
Um, and so let's talk a little bit about AI. So after eliminating 12,000 jobs, the Internal Revenue Service is increasing its use of artificial intelligence tools. Now, according to several news sources, the agency is preparing to deploy Salesforce powered AI agents across several divisions. Now, the move is part of a broader effort to update longstanding internal revenue systems after the workforce cuts. And so now all of the jobs that were erased by Doge, which is, Elon Musk, one of the leaders in AI, now the Internal Revenue Service is going to be ran by AI bots.
And yeah, it's AI is as somebody who shall remain, his name shall remain out of my mouth. It's AI is here to stay. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it. I was visiting someone in the hospital um and yesterday, and I saw the robot going around carrying stuff, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really happening. To
Oh
see the
yeah, it's
robot
happening.
walk past me, uh, oh shoot, this is really happening. This is a thing.
It's happening. It's happening. And they're replacing government jobs. So, like when we did
Yeah.
the story yesterday about Doge closing down, well, it did accomplish something because it got rid of humans. And now you're
Mhm.
telling us the next day that you're replacing those jobs with robots.
Yeah. Wow. Aquarius, by the way, Niele says that the slave quarters are important. Go inside and speak to your ancestors.
Mm. Okay. Well, I mean, it's mixed reviews, and that's the good thing about a democracy. You could have your own opinion, and it's okay. So now this story that is trending, y'all. So I know some of you have seen it. It's the Campbell Soup
Oh
Company debacle.
gosh.
Okay. So one of the VPs was caught on a secret recording saying he doesn't eat his company's product because it's unhealthy. Now, there's a lawsuit filed by a former employee named Robert Garza, and he alleges the former boss, VP Martin Bailey, said Campbell's makes him sick. It's highly processed food for poor people, and made several racial derogatory comments about Indian employees. So take a listen, y'all.
For fucking poor people. Who buys our shit? People are fucking I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer.
A new lawsuit filed against Campbell's after a former employee says
that's it, Greer.
record.
That's it. So biochemical 3D. So Campbell Soup has responded and say they use 100% chicken. And they said that quick. We use 100% chicken. And then they also said that they have to fact check to make sure that conversation is not AI generated. So that's a whole nother conversation. So the lawsuit claims Garza was fired on January 30th, 2025 in retaliation for raising concerns about Bailey's behavior, and accused the company of maintaining a racial hostile work environment. So is this a disgruntled employee that got fired so he generated this AI conversation, or did this VP really say that?
Listen, that's the other part of AI, right? You're gonna have companies and others blaming AI for misinformation. Y'all gave that.
Right, but on the flip side, you're gonna have people too, generating things, or you have somebody recording your conversation. So it just messes up the entire, because if he did say it, then guess how many more executives are going to be cautious about what they say, because so this just opens up a Pandora's box for real.
Patricia Jackson says chicken noodle soup is cubed chicken. It grosses her out. What is cubed chicken?
Well, Campbell said it's 100% chicken. We use 100%.
I don't believe that. And it's just like, and I've eaten Chinese food like many other people. I still don't know what kind of chicken it really is.
Right. Mike V says we need the Office of Civil Rights to examine how the artificial intelligence impacts underserved communities like Black folks. But we're not gonna hold our breath on that. Not with this administration.
Nope.
They're not gonna do nothing.
Kristen Clark, where are you?
That is a great point.
Kristen Clark.
Yeah, we are becoming the Jetsons, but this is, this story is deep on so many levels. You have the AI, you have the biochemicals, which takes us into this next story about how the EPA has approved 2 new pesticides that qualify as PFAs, which are known as forever chemicals. And this is for use on common food crops, with 4 more similar products under review. Now, this comes as a growing body of researchers links these forever chemicals known as PFAs to higher cancer risks, weakened immune systems, and other health concerns.
Oh, boy.
So we're thinking about this Campbell Soup story. It has a lot of implications when you think about what the government is doing. Then you look at AI. It's like, who said it, Patricia? Becoming the Jetsons. And really, we're gonna have to start growing our own vegetables again. Like I remember my grandmother, my grandfather. We used to have a vegetable garden in the backyard.
Right, right. Well, and so that's a good that's a good point because I know my grandma's always keep the gardens, but it seems like the ground is now just so contaminated too.
Well, if you have your own soil, can't you turn that over and make it fresh yourself?
I guess I don't it's just hard to trust anything now. But you're
Okay.
right though. That has gone away too for the most part. I'm sure there's still people who do their little backyard gardens and stuff, but and I used to see it all the time everywhere in our communities. But now it's just hard to
Mm-hmm.
come by somebody doing a garden. Because my grandmother, like probably yours and others, used to grow tomatoes and even collard greens and stuff like
Green
that.
beans,
Green beans, yeah,
peppers. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So
Something to
I wonder
think
how much it
about.
costs to do a garden now. Even that probably
I
is
think,
very
yeah, I
cost.
mean, if you get, they have those those wooden boxes. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go in the ground. You could buy like one of those wooden boxes and get you some soil and some seeds. It's probably in the long run cheaper.
Right,
I don't think it's that expensive.
right. Okay. Well, let's get
And
back to
so
the garden.
today, y'all, okay, and with all of this talking about, for us, by us, today, the mass economic blackout starts. Okay. So it starts today and it goes all the way to December 2nd. And what they're saying is no spending, no events, no restaurants. And if you do have to go to the store or go to the gas station, they're asking you to support small businesses only, your community businesses, Black owned, brown owned. They want us to starve the national corporations of revenue and to feed our communities. And so that starts today. I think it's going to be a buildup, because it's going to have to catch on. But just imagine if we decided not to support major corporations and we just supported the local businesses in our community, the local grocery stores, how much of an impact that could have and send a message.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's happening. It starts today. So we'll continue to talk about it too until December
You
2nd.
know, they again. I mentioned this not long ago. One of the things I said I'm tired of hearing about is the $2 trillion spending power of Black America, and the reason why I'm tired of hearing about it is because it's because it seems like we don't do stuff like this. That would show and demonstrate how important we are. So if you're gonna use it, if you're going to flaunt it, like you said, Niele, just do it locally and shut out everybody else. Just
Right.
just for the weekend or a day, just for a
Right.
day,
Yeah.
um, and
I
see what
think it would be
happens.
huge. I think it would. I mean, we saw it, we see it with Target. We see it. And so if we were able to just really just support instead of going to Cheesecake Factory, go to your local Fiesta Mart. Oh, if you want a taco, don't go to Acapulco's. Go to, your local Mexican
Pocos.
restaurant.
See,
Oh,
but here's the other thing too. RNG makes this point. He says this boycott will be easy because he has no money to spend on anything. So bring on the boycott. But that, as funny as that sounds, and I know he can go into his lockbox under his mattress and get money if he wants, but many people just don't have it now. And so this
well,
might
hopefully
be
we
an
show it.
easier one. We should,
We hopefully
yeah,
we show it on Black, especially on
right.
Black
And
Friday.
not get it on credit because you ain't got the money.
Right. Because we got to pay our electric bill.
Oh gosh. You got to put something on it.
We got to put something on it. We got to put something on it. And in a follow-up story, we're going to end on a bright note.
Okay.
Shador Sanders has been named the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, even
Oh
with
boy, she's
Daniel
all over this.
Gabriel healthy. So we are so
It's all over
excited.
this. Oh my
So
gosh.
excited for Shador because, even going back to our first story and talking about resilience and not quitting and everything they threw at that young man. And here he is, starting
Hey,
quarterback.
I
Okay?
know Dion is happy. Dion is 8 toes down with him. He's happy.
That's what he does. That's what I saw everybody on TikTok doing. They was doing this. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it too. That's his thing.
Terrible. 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 But
But yeah,
if
go ahead.
so Nancy Wall says if Cleveland wants to win, you're supposed to, even if listen, the way it works, even if you are say 1-13, that game 15, you still supposed to put your best foot forward. You're supposed to put your best effort, your best team on the field. And Shador obviously is the best quarterback of the three that they have. And it's just really so petty that they wouldn't give him the game ball last week. Is that so petty?
There it is. Woo!
they reached new depths of pettiness with that. That is crazy. But
And the thing about it is, it's like the only reason why we're going to buy a Cleveland Brown jersey, the only reason why we are going to watch the game this week on Thursday or Sunday is because of that young man right there. No other reason. Okay.
how did the
So
Cowboys actually win a game?
they get us by
Somebody explain
default.
that.
They get us by default. Okay. I ain't watched the game this season, but guess what? I'll be watching on Sunday.
You haven't watched the game?
Mm-mm.
I don't think I've watched the full game either.
I'm still on my Colin Kaepernick right here. Him. I'm
Oh,
on
there
him.
you go.
Or,
Right, him,
yeah, we still on him.
him
Yeah.
downstairs. Okay.
But I'm gonna watch Sunday because I'm rooting for Shador.
You rooting for him?
I'm rooting
Okay.
for him.
Okay.
And those are your headlines for today.
Yeah, those are your headline from Niele. Shador.
Oh, that's the headline. Well, no,
Shador. She's all over Shador.
we started with our ancestor now, Mother Fletcher, and we're ending it with living Black history in the making, Shador.
Okay, so RNG says he grills every Sunday for the Bears.
And how are they doing?
How are they doing? You got to tell us, folks. We got to check out RNG this weekend on the Power 96. What is it? RNG Swag Sports. Because we got to keep up with what's going on with HBCUs, and he
Well,
is
it's
all
Bayou
in the
Classic.
mix.
I'm pretty sure it'll be a
Yeah.
great show. I might have to tap in because it is Bayou Classic weekend.
Yeah, he's gonna
And
be all over there
so
and grilling. So I'm gonna be following his since I can't be in Louisiana with him, I'm gonna be following his Instagram because he usually is cooking live and he is on live and he's got the grill going. And
okay.
he's got something. He had something on the grill. I meant to ask him because it looked like some sort of animal that was on that grill that I couldn't describe.
Well, I hope it was an animal.
I hope so,
That's
too.
what you grill animals, Stacy. What do you think you put
Well,
on
wait
the
a minute.
grill?
I don't know what goes
Eggplant
on in
and
Louis.
cucumber?
I don't know. He remember yesterday he talked
Zucchini?
about the pig, the turkey, and
meat.
something else all together.
You put the meat on the grill.
Look, I need to know. I need to know. Shoot. Oh man, he barbecues everything, and who knows? If I feel sorry for his son if he hasn't paid the student loan debt yet. Anyway, let's get some black facts going on. On this date in 1841, 35 Africans from the Amistad finally made it home. They had been kidnapped, sold, and dragged across the Atlantic until they fought back, seized the ship, and took their case all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. With help from former President John Quincy Adams, they won their freedom, and after 2 long years, they returned to West Africa on their own terms. That is like what you said earlier. We never tell the story of fighting back. And there it is.
That's what Gross said. That's important. Yeah.
I still fight back. But Niele, I have to say this because there's a couple of weeks ago, it was on Instagram. One of the comedians, it was Tag on it. Who was it? One of the big
Dave
time comedians. Not
Chappelle,
Chappelle.
Chris
Um,
Rock, Kevin Hart,
whoever it was saying
Earthquake,
no. It was one of the legends, but was
D.L.
saying he's
Hughley.
not a legend yet.
Oh, he's not a legend? Okay.
I don't know, but he was saying, and I had to laugh about this because he was saying he don't understand. He said, "Why the Africans?" He said, "Why they ain't come for us?" He said, "Why they ain't come get us?" The way he said it, I was rolling. He said he never came and got us. I think. Oh, Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney.
Oh, you
But
did. You said I thought they were alive, Stacy. Paul
oh,
Mooney
okay.
been dead for 10 years.
Yeah, he been.
You didn't say an
But
ancestor comedian.
he said they took us. He said, we wait. He said, I'm sure those people waiting for their people to come get. He got the Mandingo warriors and that. Where
Yeah,
were
that's
y'all?
something he would say, him or Dick Gregory.
It was Paul.
Dick Gregory would say, I know why they left our ass over here. That's what Dick Gregory would have said.
And Paul Mooney, it's been 10 years.
It might not little, it might be a
A
little
little bit.
less, but it's been a
Okay.
minute
The
now.
time
Yeah.
flies, man.
Yeah, it might not
Wow.
be 10, little under 10, but it's getting close. Black Virginia News says that happened the same year as Nat Turner's Rebellion.
Rebellion. Yeah. How about the 1801?
And look at what they did to that Fighting Back. Look at what they did to his movie. What was it called? The movie that the actor did. What is his name?
Oh, yes. Will Smith.
No. Nat Turner movie. No.
Get out of here with that Will Smith stuff. He needs to go back on the Oscars and slap somebody.
No, remember he did the movie and The Birth of a Nation. It was called The Birth of a Nation.
Okay.
By Nate Parker. The Birth of a Nation by Nate Parker. He basically lost his career behind that movie. And they didn't want to show it, but also because The Birth of a Nation was originally a KKK movie. It was a Klan's movie. And he reimagined it and told the story of Nat Turner and about how they used the Bible. And the white folks, Hollywood didn't like it. And he hasn't really had a career since then.
Okay, she says 1831 was Nat Turner, not 1841. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, still, I'm yeah. And according to Black History Facts and BET, Amistad was 1841, but she's saying 1839. But nonetheless, 35 former slaves. That to me. And we know the story of Amistad. Yes, we do, but it's an undertold story to me.
And there's a movie about it done by Debbie Allen, right?
There's a movie about it, but I think that we don't boost that enough because it goes to what you said earlier about the story of us not fighting back.
That was Greer, which was a great point to bring up.
Greer mentioned that. It was great, and this shows we fight back. We fight back. So way undersold. Thank you, Black Virginia News.
Maybe I'll go watch. Of course, go ahead.
Is owned and operated and published by Lauren Burke, our own Lauren Burke.
Hey, Lauren.
I don't know if she's running the social media, but I do know that that's her baby right there.
Got it. I think I may go watch Amistad.
Why not? Get that fighting spirit. I mean, you
fight back.
You came in all happy and smiling and whatever, partying, whatever you about to do.
well, let's stand on. Let's bring it. Let's fast forward to the year of 1995, and let's get in our soft girl era, ladies. And the year was, of course, 1995, and Whitney Houston's "Excel," shoot. From the Waiting to Excel soundtrack hit #1 on the Billboard charts, on the Billboard's Hot 100 and R&B charts. And of course, this year marks the 30th anniversary of Waiting to Excel. And I just watched that too. I had to go. So it's the 30th anniversary, y'all. Go watch it. It's on Hulu. It's on Hulu.
Greer, can you blow that up a little bit more again, like you did the album? Because look who's on that. Look who this says include new music. Check this out. Whitney, Mary J. Blige, Brandy, Tony Braxton, Faith Evans, Aretha, Shaka Khan, Patty, Shantae Moore,
Yeah,
SWV,
classic.
TLC, CC1, all new songs written and produced by the one and only Babyface.
Babyface.
That's
That is a classic
amazing.
album. And
I didn't realize they all was on that.
you didn't realize you didn't.
No, not until this moment.
All the ladies in the chat know.
I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
All ladies in the chat know. A couple weeks ago, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Adam Blackstone. He basically does like the Grammys, the Super Bowl. Well, he got the blessing of Babyface to do a Waiting to Exhale celebration. And he did it here in Hollywood. It was really intimate show. And he had the men sing those songs for the ladies. And then Leela Rashawn was there and she came up and she was like, Whitney is all up in this place. But it was such a just special night because that soundtrack for those of us who grew up with Waiting to Exhale, it was just everything. It was
Greer
like
wants you to
literally
know-
we exhaled.
Greer wants you to know that he was no soft girl. He just likes soft girls.
Who?
Babyface, I guess.
Oh, I didn't say no. He likes white girls.
Got that
too.
whippoorwill.
He likes white girls. His girlfriend is a white blonde.
Oh, he do?
Yeah.
Oh, she said me. Oh, she talking about me?
Oh,
Hey, listen. I'll claim it. I got that whippoorwill too. It's all right with me.
okay. That's another person you should go see in concert, baby.
Who, Babyface?
Oh my gosh.
had a
Because he has
friend-
so many hits.
He does. Those that he didn't sing and those that he did sing.
Right. And
Those
he
wrote and-
does a whole within his set, he does a set of songs that he's written and produced. And so
Yeah.
you just go, some of them, it's like, I didn't even realize he wrote that song.
Mm.
It's so good. So good.
There's so many talented people that are crazy.
are
I
you
mean,
talking
when you
about?
think of, no, when you said it reminded me of, I was having a conversation yesterday with somebody about R. Kelly, and we were talking about R. Kelly, but then you realize how talented this man really is, and then you realize how flawed he really is.
Right.
Like,
But
oh my
I mean,
gosh.
some of the, like, you know, and that AI could never R. Kelly with a pen. You know, AI could never. They talk about all this new AI song and stuff. They could never Babyface. AI could never. You know,
All right, AI, she done put you to the challenge.
they could never, ever.
They
I
gonna
was
try.
listening to, they just could never. I think that they can. I think that AI can with this new generation of music because it's here today, gone tomorrow. But
Yeah.
for true artists, pen to pen, they could never, which probably is going to make more space for real artists. But these ones now, they not going to last.
You hope so, because like you said, this music, oh gosh. She said, Greer says, isn't that always the case? Remember Donny Hathaway jumped out a window. Yeah. Oh, she's talking about the flawed ones. Yeah. It's just, I think of Phyllis Hyman. You think of so many who had so many struggles despite all that talent and all of that greatness. You know, you just wish you had. Well, I'll speak for myself. I had just 1 ounce of that talent that these people have.
Yeah, it's tragic. You know, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Prince.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Jimi Hendrix. Remember all of them died like 27 years old. There was a time like Hendrix and Kurt Cobain and what's the girl over in London?
Amy
Rehab
Winehouse.
girl. Yeah.
Amy Winehouse.
27. They were all 27 years old.
Yeah.
Man, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And Black Virginia News says, Niele, as far as AI, they
They
can't.
can't. I was thinking about that yesterday. I was thinking about like AI can never Nicki Minaj or Cardi B, but they probably could Glorilla and Sexy Red and Meg Thee Stallion. You know, AI could never Beyonce or Usher. You know what I'm saying? But they probably could Moni Long and all these other people. So my point of what I'm saying is it's going to take great artists now. That there's no competition to pen to paper. Like yesterday, Keith Sweat posted the 30th anniversary of the song "Make It Last Forever." AI can't make it last forever. They might make it last for now or tomorrow, but forever, no. It's just something about Keith and Jackie.
So chat, let me ask you guys, if you could if you could bring one back to go to a concert, who would you bring back? Whitney, Michael, Prince, or let's see, give me one more. Whitney, Michael, Prince, or who else is dead that is Luther? Who would you?
Luther.
Yeah.
I would Luther. Mm-hmm. Luther.
I would, because I've seen so much of Michael, so much of Prince in concert. I think I would have to go with Luther too.
Yeah, and that documentary of Luther Vandross's life. I mean, I just, I will.
96 is James Brown, by the way.
I would say I would have Whitney open and then Luther. That would be my.
You can only have one. You can only have one.
Then you have to have an opener.
No, these guys don't. These people, Whitney
well,
don't need
my
an
choice
opener.
would be Luther, but I would like, my wish would be for Whitney to open for
Richard
Luther.
Jackson said Luther. All right, I got a James Brown. Michelle Madison says Angie Stone, although I didn't put her in the top 4.
Well, no,
but,
that was before you said that.
Oh, okay.
Left Eye, Aaliyah, and Angie Stone were before you said that.
Okay, yeah, because Luther had a voice that cannot. Maybe AI will one day replicate it, but it just cannot.
Never.
And again, like I said, I have to move Prince and Michael out only because I've seen them so much. Yeah, it's a tough one. Greer says, yeah. Whitney, I've seen her live a couple of times, but not in concert. She was only doing a couple of songs each time. Like she did at the Michael Jackson show where she performed, and also at the Celebration of Black Music where she performed, and VH1 Divas. I was there and she performed, but I've never seen her entire concert. But I was still, as great as she was, I'd have to go with Luther.
Yeah, I would go with Luther too. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anyway, Michelle Madison said she would bring back Whitney Houston. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I keep seeing these if you can only choose one type things online, so I threw those out there. So RNG is on the grill that day. He says he's telling me those were stuffed pork chops and alligator burgers. I knew it wasn't an animal that I would normally cook. He says my son gets one to-go plate for Thanksgiving. Him and his girlfriend can share. I want my money. So that's the punishment still for him being late on his student loan payments.
Knock it off. And you better let your son take as much as he wants. Talk about one plate. Knock it off.
And it's to share. One plate to share with his girlfriend. Not a full plate. So he's got some stiff rules. I don't know. His son might want to refinance those loans.
I would like to hear what his son would say, though. To what he just
used to his dad by now.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, whatever. Get them 2 containers to go, girlfriend.
No, he's waiting for years from now when his dad is finally done with and leaves him the will. He probably got in the will, Niele, that his son, in order for his son to collect any inheritance, he has to finish paying off to his estate the student loan debt. Probably something like that. I did a will, by the way. One of my daughters was like, y'all don't have wills, and I finally got my will done. Okay. So just so you'll know. So if I keel over right now, that means I've left something to my family. One plate, no eating with the family. Times are hard, he says. There you go. Unlike Niele, who's going to be eating chitlins with her family.
Well, no, that's not till Christmas. New Year's.
Okay,
that's a New Year's thing.
That's
it's
a New
turkey.
Year's.
Yeah, I got to go get the Popeyes turkey. That's what I got.
All right, folks. We're gonna get on out of here. I think we got one more show before the holiday, so we'll see.
One more show before the holiday, but Black news always continues 24/7 at BlackPressUSA.com.
Thanks for watching, folks.
Everybody has forgotten about Bush. They don't even think Bush was in office. You can't even find anybody that even voted for it. It took Bush 12 years, actually 8 with his daddy, just to destroy the nation, and no one remembers. Bush did whatever he wanted to do, and you white folks just loved it. You didn't care. He tricked you with that homeland security bullshit. He took your white freedom. You white folks think you're free? Take your white ass to the airport. Go on over there. They got people questioning you that can't even speak English. Can I see your peace port? My peace port? Everybody has forgotten about Bush. They don't even think Bush was in office. You can't even find anybody that even voted for it.